Morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening into this from. My name is Joshua, the founder and director of El Terreno Cultural Exchange Center and Foundation here in the Ecuadorian Andes. A pleasure to have all of you with us today for yet another internship presentation, this time from Tabea from Austria, who's joined us for 4 short weeks here, but has made some amazing progress on water mapping and laying the foundations for future projects and future work. So I will let her explain the most of it. Over to you.
Thank you, Joshua. I'll share my screen. Okay. Can you see the screen and can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so welcome to my final presentation. Thank you so much, all of you, for coming. Before talking about the projects, I would like to quickly introduce myself. So my name is Tabea, I'm from Austria, I'm 20 years old, and currently I'm studying environmental resource management at Boku University in Vienna. As Joshua said, I was here for a month and I worked on 2 projects during my time. One was the project with the water filters, which was a different presentation. And the topic I'm going to talk about today, the work on the irrigation system. So I'll start with some context about why I did this project. So we are here in Atandahua, which is a region in the province of Bolivar. And right now this region is facing severe droughts because we're in the dry season. And that leads to a shortage of water for the irrigation system of Atandahua, which is used by the farmers for their crops. So our plan was to make the reservoir where the water is stored bigger, so can hold more water for dry periods like this. And the other project I was doing was mapping the irrigation system for a general overview of where the water comes from and who the landowners are and which land belongs to who. Yeah, so I'll start with the mapping project. So first I had to do some research on that. For that I had to get to know the irrigation system and know what it even is. For that I joined the water operator for a day. He is responsible for, he goes to the irrigation system every day to check if all the pipes are okay and to close the channels or open the channels where the water comes from. And he gave us some very valuable information about the names of the farmers, and he showed us those filtros de aire that you can see on the right-hand picture. And each of those filters, it's kind of a pump, goes to one of the landowners. So I took a picture of each of those and matched those pictures with the names of the landowners to later put those on the map. And the second part of my research was understanding the existing map that you can see here in the left-hand picture. This was made by Evelyn, who is a student here in Ecuador, and she already mapped out the way of the irrigation system, and those dots that you can see, those are natural wells or ojos de agua. And so my part of the project was putting the landowners there and putting the way from the ojos de agua to the reservoir. Yeah, so what I got from this research was, first of all, this table that you can see on top. That has all the names of the landowners, the number of sprinklers they have on the land, and also the time where they can use the water, because each farmer only gets about 2 to 3 hours per week to use the water. And the water operator showed us which time which farmer gets. So I digitalized that, which could be useful for other projects, and also the project with the reservoir that I did. And then the other thing I did was I put contours on the map. Also, I forgot mentioning that I did this with QGIS, which is the program for mapping. So maybe you can see those thin squiggly lines on the map. Those are the contours that show the elevation of the land. And from that, I could kind of see where the water goes from the ojos de agua to the reservoir. Those are the red lines that I put. Yeah, so that was the first part. And then I could start with the landowners. So what I did there was I printed out Evelyn's map in a really big format and in 3 pieces so that I could draw the shapes of the lands on there from what I got from the water operator, which would have taken a very long time because I didn't have it that detailed. But when I printed the map out, I could see something that I couldn't see on the small screen of the laptop. It was that Evelyn had put another map on top of her map that she got from the Prefectura de Bolívar, so the prefecture that manages the whole province of Bolívar. And they already had a map that was very thin on there with all the names of the landowners already on them. So all I had to do was to check my information with the information on that map and adjust it a bit because the maps didn't align perfectly, and yeah, make it more visible. Yeah, so that's what I did. I put polygons in QGIS on there, and I also put numbers on those in a table where I also put the names of the landowners so that you could later match the number on the map to the landowner on the table. And I also sorted them from who gets water first and who gets last. So that's more, yeah. And after I did that in QGIS, I showed it to Hugo, who is the head of the Junta de Agua, who manages the water in Atandawa, and to the water operator to ask them if they think it's okay. So what they requested was to not put the table with the numbers directly on the map because the owners can change. Someone could inherit land or someone could sell land. So they wanted the table extra in an extra document to change that and keep the map. And after making these adjustments, we printed it, which you can see in the picture on the left. It was really nice seeing it come together and not having to do anything for that part. But it was a bit hard transporting that huge map home. But this really paid off because these are the results. So on the right-hand side, you can just see the map itself. And on the left, you can see Hugo and me holding the map and putting it in the Casa Comunal, which is where all the community meetings take place. So I hope that this map can be used by interns for their future projects, and maybe for if a pipe is broken to show, oh, here you have to go and fix the pipe, and also for Mingas. I can explain to you what Mingas are because I was really lucky to have experienced one during my time here. So a Minga is a community event where people from communities come together to get something done. It could be to help one person or to do something that's good for the whole community. So the Minga I went to was on another irrigation system of San Juan, I think. And we just spent the day digging up pipes and freeing other natural waterways from dirt and mud. And it was just really nice to see those communities coming together because they don't get anything for it. They just spend their weekends kind of volunteering for that. I think that was really nice to see. Yeah, so coming back to the map, if there's a Minga in Atandawa, maybe they could just point on the map like we're going there, and maybe that would make it easier for them. And so for the next steps that could be done for this project, so it was a bit hard to find next steps because I think it's kind of finished because the map is printed. But I really hope that the map can be used by communities and interns, or for example, also for planting trees along those water sources to naturally transport more water there. And I have to say the mapping project was a lot of fun. So I hope that other interns can do something similar again. So one suggestion would be maybe mapping the reservoir in more detail because it's not really featured in my map, and it kind of looks like all the streams from the Ojos de Aguas come together in one stream and just go into the reservoir from that. But if you go to the reservoir, you will see that there's more streams coming there. So maybe it would be a good idea to map that in more detail in the future. Yeah, so I'm very open to discussion about that later. But first, I would like to talk about the second project, which was the reservoir. So we wanted to make that bigger by planning a construction site. And yeah, the research I did there was to, again, see the reservoir. I did it on the same day as I went with the water operator, because this was our first step. And then we talked to Hugo, the head of the Junta de Agua, and I kind of had to understand all of the hierarchies of the stakeholders, because there's the prefectura for the whole province, and there's the Junta de Agua for Atandahua. So it was a bit hard in the beginning to find out about that. And then the second part of the reservoir was that we wanted to keep the wildlife, because you can see there in the back there's wetland, and it's a very important habitat for birds. So we really wanted to not disturb them, but I think the prefectura would have been ready to just get rid of all of that wetland to make the reservoir bigger. So we tried making an environmental analysis by walking around it. And yeah, the results were that I found out that there was way more wetland than I thought. I didn't see that first, but in the back there was, it almost looks like grass, but it's still part of the reservoir. So actually removing some of the wetland in the front wouldn't be that much of a loss. So I think it's a good compromise for environmental needs and human needs. I also took a picture of the reservoir from that hill. You can see the picture there on the right, to make a design, also in QGIS. Yeah, and that's kind of where we are now. So we made an officio, which is an official document to send to the prefectura to ask for the machines. But the machines are missing some parts that haven't arrived yet, and some are busy at other projects. So I will not see that construction site happening, but I really hope that it will happen, because I think it could be very important for the community. Yeah, so next steps here would be to finish the project, so get the machines to the reservoir. And after it was made bigger, maybe to help it regenerate faster, there could be native plants and trees planted, also to get, again, more water there naturally. Then there could be a fence installed to not have cows go to the reservoir and make the floor very dense. So that would be bad for the wetland. And maybe check if there's actually more water available now, and maybe then the farmers could get more than 2 hours of water of the irrigation system. Yeah, so that's it. I want to thank everyone who was part of this project. Thank you to you, Joshua, for making this all possible for me. Thank you, Christian, for being my coordinator for the first week, and the biggest thank you to Naser for, he's sitting next to me, for being my coordinator for all of 4 weeks and coming everywhere with me for translating and discussing ideas. Yeah, and thank you, the whole team of El Terreno. Yeah, so I'm open for questions now. Stop sharing.
Fantastic. Great job, Tabea. Yeah, over to questions. Felia, I see you put your hand up. Go for it.
Congratulations on your great presentation. It was really interesting. You told us about the Minga and that everyone is very supportive when it comes to a Minga. Did you find the farmers you were interviewing supportive as well, or did you find it hard to talk to them?
So I wasn't interviewing farmers. I was just going with the water operator to their lands. Yeah. It was hard in general for me to communicate because of my Spanish. That's why I had Naser coming with me to translate. But actually, I think everyone I talked to about the mapping at the reservoir was very open for my project, because they already know El Terreno, they know that they do things for the community. I think they're actually all very grateful. Yeah. Just so the time is always a bit of a problem. So they say they're coming, then they're not coming, and then maybe they don't have time. Yeah. But
thank you.
That leads quite nicely into one of my questions. So with your project, you had lots of small things, and there was a lot of uncertainty with it. So for someone who might be in the same position where there's maybe not a lot of time and there's quite a lot of uncertainty, what recommendations would you have on how to adapt to that reality and the reality of working in Ecuador?
Well, I think just go with it. So there's not a lot you can change about it. And I think what helped me was that I had a lot of different projects. So every time something would get cancelled, I still had something to work on for my other projects. So I think if there's a project that you think will be connected with a lot of uncertainty, you could see that this person could get another project as well. So they keep busy. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think you adapted really well, really well.
There's a question
There's
in
a
the
comment.
chat.
Yes, I'll read that from Chris. Great job, Tabea. I heard that there has been some reforestation in the past years. Have you been targeted other areas which could be reforested to retain more water, the wetland area?
Thank you. That's a great question. Yes, I think that's why I did the mapping of the Ojos de Agua to the reservoir, because along those ways you could start reforesting to have more water at the source of it that goes into the reservoir. And also I was talking to Sebastian for one of my mentoring lessons, and he also said that we could plant trees around the reservoir to keep more water there. Yeah.
Any other comments or questions?
Yes, a great job, Tabea. Great congratulations. Did you think that the farmer like your mapping, or did you think they think we remember anyway the pipes and the sources?
So yeah, again, I didn't really talk to the farmers, but the map was for Hugo, the head of the Junta de Agua, and he was quite happy about it. So he put it in the Casa Comunal, and I think he's going to use it. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, it's interesting. Mapping is often one of those things that maybe, oh, I just want to get on and I just want to like plant some trees, or I just want to do something. And there was something that you said in your presentation. You said it was fun. So could you share about what it was that you found fun, and what is it do you think that is now enabled in the reforestation or anything to do with the irrigation system, or what will be more efficient now that the map is there?
So what I found fun was just playing with the program and learning more about it, because I think I could use that in my future job as well, maybe. So yeah, that was the fun part. And yeah, for the reforestation, I think it's just very useful for interns, because when I came here, I heard about the irrigation system and I didn't really know what it is. So that's why I went with the water operator and I spent the whole day going with him on that hike. And that maybe future interns can just look at that map and already have an idea of what the irrigation system even is, and then they know where to start looking.
Absolutely. I can see it being used more than people imagine when you talk about making a map, because it will be referred to, as you say before, every minga when there's you mentioned all of this when there's a break in the pipe or something like that. It's to get some common understanding of how things are and how the system works. Mesa, I believe you're hiding there out of shot. Is that right? It'd be nice to hear from you. Your experience of working on this project with Tabea. Any comments, any questions?
No, I just want to say thank you everyone for joining to this final presentation to appreciate Tabea work in this project. So I feel really happy for her work that she has been doing. So yeah, I just want to say congratulations one more time.
Okay, any other final questions? Yes, go for it.
You also told us about this little lake you want to dig up so that it becomes bigger. And you said it's only not happening because some parts of the machines are missing. But does it mean you did get permission to dig it up right away. Because if you wanted to do that in Austria, I think it would take weeks, months, or maybe years to do so.
Yeah.
So, but would have been that easy.
Yeah, so they told us, they also told us that they would come with the machines last week, and the only problem was that the machines weren't ready yet. Yeah, so as soon as the parts are there, we have to ask again, and then yeah, they will just dig up that lake. Yeah.
Right. So it's really hands-on. Don't have to wait for permission or something like that.
I mean, we did send one official document, but
Okay. Great.
But yeah, that's definitely one of the benefits about working here in Ecuador is you can make things happen quite quickly. You can get in the room with the decision makers usually quite quickly, and so yeah, opens doors. Then whether they're reliable enough to follow through is that's another matter. But yeah, it's quite dynamic.
It's an interesting learning too.
Definitely. What would you say, Tabea? I mean, I don't know how much practical experience you've had from Austria, but from what you do know, what are the main different ways of working?
sorry, I didn't hear that. The internet. Sorry.
What would you say the main different ways of working between Austria and Ecuador?
Well, I think people are here in Atandara are more open for the work I do. I think in Austria they wouldn't appreciate it that much. Yeah, and as Filia said, it's the legal things to, like, you just can do something. They would have even come and dug up all that wetland without the environmental inspection. Yeah, that.
Okay, fantastic. Chris has sent another message in the chat. The reservoir seems new since I've been there. Is this taking any stress off water scarcity in the dry season? Have you seen any results since it has been created? You probably can't respond to that, Tabea, I imagine.
I think that's a question for you. Yeah.
So Chris, just to clarify, Tabea was working on the irrigation water system, not on the domestic water system, which is what you were looking at. What the domestic water system has done is they have bought some of the land before the water goes directly into the pipes, and they put some fencing around there and planted some trees. And that for sure has definitely had an impact in the dry season, because that was an area that previously you'd have lots of cows going in. So you'd be taking away all of the bushes and the trees, and then obviously their fecal matter then goes into the water supply, which links into a little bit about what Tabea was talking about regarding the water filter project that she was working on. So yeah, that's one of the first things, is to ensure that there is a space to collect water and ensure that humidity is preserved there throughout the project. But the bigger you can make it, the better. And so that's exactly what she was looking at. Okay. Okay, I think that's a good place to leave it. Tabea, once again, congratulations for all of your hard work and effort and persistence during these last 4 weeks. An amazing piece of work, and you're going to be able to go back and, share with your classmates and all the work that you've done. And I really hope that it influences you going forwards. And I understand you're off to Peru next. So have an amazing rest of your trip. Thank you so much for deciding to join us. To close the meeting, the presentation, would you like to say any final words?
Yeah, I also want to say thank you so much for helping me here with this project and letting me do that, for trusting in me, for maybe overestimating my cooking skills a bit, because that made me learn a lot. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. And also everyone who came to the presentation today. Thank you.
Okay. Congratulations. If you're watching the recording and would like to find out more, you can visit our website at www.elterrenoecuador.com. Thanks everybody for joining us. Until next time, wishing you all the best.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.